What? All right. Get on the desk. You get on the desk.
Yep.
Wait, you need to, never mind.
Okay, welcome to our board meeting. We opened our board meeting at 5 o'clock, established a quorum. We convened to closed session at 5 o'clock and we're returning at 6:07. And student trustee Lilia, would you like to lead our opening? Testing. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome to our board meeting. Documents provided to a majority of the governing board regarding this agenda will be made available for public inspection in the district office located at 20932 Big Canyon Road, Middletown, California, during normal business hours. Such writings and documents will be posted on the district's website at www.middletownusd.org and clicking on Board of Education. A file copy is also available in front of the meeting room. Said file is not to be removed from the room. A focus on all of our students' best interest is the touchstone for our decisions. Remember, it's okay to be hard on issues, not people.
Okay, thank you. Annette, will you lead us in the pledge? Okay, Annette, would you report on closed session items?
No action was taken during closed session.
Okay, and could I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Move to approve?
It's been moved by Annette, seconded by
I second.
Allison. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Pass 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
It's been moved by Patsy, approved by Chris. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass 5-0. Okay, student trustee, do you have anything that you'd like to report?
Both JV and varsity football won their game on homecoming weekend, which was September 26th. Last week on October 10th, our football team went against Kelseyville, JV winning 20-6, and varsity winning 52-6. Our girls soccer team won against Fort Bragg by 6-3 yesterday. Volleyball girls played against Fort Bragg yesterday too, and JV won 2-0. Our football team goes against Fort Bragg on Friday, and basketball and wrestling both start up in November. On October 9th, our school's judging team went to practice competitions instead. The Vet Science team won second as a team. Devin Shippey won first place in individual for Ag Mechanics. Michael Constantine won first place in individual for Farm Power. And Ms. Jones will be taking a small group of kids to the corn maze in Kelseyville on October 27th. Ms. Harmon got 4 college representatives to present at Middletown and 1 more to come on Friday. UC Merced, UC San Diego, Sonoma State, Pacific State University, and the one to present on Friday is UC Santa Cruz. Alongside this college speakers or representatives, we have the ASVAB test set up for Friday, October 23rd.
Wow, you've been busy. Thank you. Trustee Patchy, do you have anything you'd like to report? Trustee Oakes?
No.
Okay, Trustee Berlager?
I think I was just going to piggyback a little bit again on just remembering to look at your bulletins from your principals. Our student trustee already mentioned some of the things that are on it, but there are those things. Mock Trial has a movie night and a bake sale to raise funds for their competitions. Woodland Community College has campus and college transfer and other events coming up this month. There's a vaping class at the MAC at the Center of Clear Lake on October 16th and 17th. And again, that AVSPAT testing is on the 23rd. So just remember to check your bulletins. And I was also going to say we had a special board meeting on Monday night, specifically about our bond process, which was really informational. So if you have any questions on that, please feel free to reach out. And we also had a great tour of the Cobb campus. And I would like to, I think that was a really good way to do a special board workshop, because it was nice to tour the campus. And we were having some conversation in closed session, about classrooms, middle school, high school, and, there's pieces where we're all like, well, where is that classroom? And so if we kind of did that kind of thing, it might be nice for everybody to familiarize themselves with where things are at. So I just wanted to say that I appreciated that. Remember to check your weekly bulletins, and thank you, Cobb Elementary and Angie Stevenson, for hosting us Monday night.
Thank you, Allison. And Trustee Lee.
No report.
Okay, and I would like to also kind of piggyback on Allison. I'd like to recognize, what Ray Green and the Van Pelt team have done with their expertise and their professional commitment in working with our bond. Thank you, Ray, for sharing the worksheet on how you come up with estimate of cost on projects. This is helpful for our future facility planning process. So I'd like to just point that out. And Superintendent Crane.
So, thank you. I'm going to get in the weeds here a little bit just to kind of make some announcements about some things, some information, some data that has been developed recently. So October 1 is known as Seabeds Day. I don't even know what Seabeds stands for. I just know that that's the day that all of our student population data and statistics becomes official. And so some of the things, this year we have 1,445 students. Of course, we get funded based on attendance, not on enrollment. So, but 1,445 students throughout the district. One of the things that we have been looking at in the past is that we have been very close to the 55% of what's called unduplicated pupils. And those are students for whom we get some extra funding, whether because they're learning English as a second language, or because of socioeconomic status, or because of their foster or homeless. And above 55%, we get a kick in of some extra funding for those students. And we reached 58.9%, with great thanks to the school teams who did some follow-up calls to families to get some paperwork completed. There are still some gaps and things we need to address, but we had feedback for all but 41 of our students this year. And in the past, we were closer to like 60%. And so this year we were way better on that. Good news, bad news on that is that supplemental and concentration dollars are funded based on a 3-year average. And so what that means is that we don't get as much funding this year as we might have hoped if it was just a 1-year average. But what it does is it gives us some stability over time. And so that's, as I said, kind of a good news, bad news. Less in the weeds and more closely applicable to all of us. People who may know is that one of my New Year's resolutions, which I make in August, because that's when the new year starts, was to visit every classroom 3 times throughout the school year. So far, I have visited 57 classrooms, and that's in addition to just drop-ins, walkthroughs, whatever. Those are 57 kind of official, unofficial, semi-formal visits where I'm with the principal and follow up with an email afterwards about things that we've seen and talked about, and just giving some feedback to teachers. Have plans for 10 more visits next week between the middle school and Cobb, and getting ready to start our second lap. I am pleased to report that there is lots of great instruction going on in our classrooms. I'm not going to call anybody out in particular because I don't want to miss anybody or embarrass anybody or offend anybody. But I'm telling you, there are some of our classrooms that I walk out of and am just so excited about the instruction that is going on. And so anyway, we'll talk a little bit later about test scores and how those things are related. But those are the 2 things that I just really wanted to share about Seabeds Day and some of our statistics, which is kind of exciting that we have some prospects of increased funding over the next few years, and then the classroom visits. It is just awesome to be out in the classrooms and where, for a school district, the rubber meets the road. So that's my report.
Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, we plan on trying to visit some classrooms as a board, working with the principals and trying to set that up also. Okay, special acknowledgement. This is a special time the board invites our school leader to give special acknowledgement to our students and staff, and families are invited to stay or leave after all schools, staff, and students have been recognized. So thank you for that. So with that being said, student number 1, Middletown High School.
Good evening to the board, good evening to the community, and Mr. Crane, thank you for your continued support. Our number 1 student at Middletown High School for the month of September is Chesney Henry. Mrs. Ramos, our ag teacher, says, Chesney has been an amazing president of FFA. Mrs. Pizer, our business teacher, says, Chesney is a wonderful young lady. She exhibits many leadership skills, and I can see that she will be a productive member of society that will make a difference. Mrs. Pizer also says, in digital arts, Chesney shows the ability to be creative and think outside of the box. She has a unique way of seeing things, and I always look forward to seeing her work. I present to you the Middletown High School number 1 student of the month, Chesney Henry.
Okay, next we have Cobb Mountain Elementary.
Cobb Mountain Elementary is proud to announce Elijah Sanchez. Elijah is an all-around excellent student. He's kind, hardworking, and consistently sets an example for those around him. One of the best parts about Elijah is that he has an unquenchable thirst for learning. He consistently goes above and beyond in his projects. He's always looking for ways to stretch himself. He cares not only about the finished product, but also about his journey to get there. Elijah is a living example of determination and perseverance. Elijah is a super easy choice for Student of the Month. His character and academic strengths set the standard. Cobb Mountain couldn't be more proud to call him one of its own. Great job, Elijah.
Okay, next we have Minnie Cannon.
For mini canon, we have Analia Alviso. All right, Analia is a very sensitive and thoughtful fourth grade student. She comes in the classroom every morning with a great attitude, ready to learn and take on the challenges of the day. She loves the morning check-in and uses amazing adjectives to describe how she is feeling, usually with a compliment for her teacher. She is extremely well liked by her classmates and a good example for behavior daily. Analia loves to participate in class discussion and contributes with insightful information. Analia is a problem solver who is not afraid to ask for help when she needs it. She communicates well and effectively. She is very conscientious and shows excellent effort and care with her classwork and homework. She makes smart decisions. Mrs. Parker is excited to watch Analia as she moves through the Middletown schools, and so are all of us. I know she will continue to be successful. She is a pleasure to have in class and at Minnicannon Elementary. We look forward to having her the rest of the school year and in 5th grade, and then on to middle school. Congratulations.
Okay, great. Coyote Valley.
Okay, I'd like to bring up Coyote Valley Elementary School Student of the Month, Estela Del Sarto. Okay, this is remarks by Estela's teacher, Miss Moore. It is with great pleasure that we recognize Estela Del Sarto as Coyote Valley's Student of the Month. One of the first things that you will notice about Estela is her radiant smile, a genuine expression of the kindness and compassion she so freely shares with others. Her warmth and empathy reveal a strong moral character and a deep awareness of the people around her. Stella is often the first to notice when someone needs support and reaches out, whether that be guiding a classmate through a difficult concept or offering a welcoming friendship. Estella is gentle, kind, and quick to laugh, but there is also a quiet determination about her. She approaches challenges with perseverance, and her commitment to learning is evident in the way she listens intently, contributes meaningfully, and asks insightful questions. She approaches assignments with dedication and attention to detail that reflect the high standards she sets for herself. This tenacity and drive are apparent in her academics, but also in her athletics and her artwork. She gives her full effort and refuses to settle for anything less than her best. She simply does not give up until she achieves her goal. Estella takes pride in her own achievements, but also celebrates with genuine joy the successes of others. Estella, we are so incredibly proud of you and inspired by your integrity, determination, and compassion. We are excited to see what amazing things you will go on to achieve. Keep being exactly who you are. The world needs more of it. Congratulations.
Okay, next we have staff number 1, Cobb Mountain Elementary.
Tonight, Cobb Mountain has the pleasure of inviting one of its own alumni up to receive Staff Member of the Year, Miss Bella Ruiz. We are thrilled to announce that Bella Ruiz, one of our dedicated instructional aides, has been honored as this year's Staff Member of the Year. This recognition is a testament to the extraordinary commitment, compassion, and professionalism that Bella brings to our school community every single day. Whether she's working one-on-one with students, supporting classroom teachers, or going the extra mile behind the scenes, she consistently demonstrates a deep care for student success and well-being. Bella's impact extends far beyond academic support. Students trust and look up to her and are drawn by her warmth, patience, and encouragement. Teachers praise Bella for being reliable, proactive, and an essential part of the CME team. From helping students grasp challenging concepts to offering a quiet word of encouragement, Bella exemplifies what it means to be a positive force in education. We are proud to celebrate Bella as this year's Staff Member of the Year, and we thank her for the incredible difference that she makes every day.
And next we have Maintenance Operation Transportation.
Good evening. This year's MOT's #1 employee, please come up, Anthony Raffaelli. I am pleased to recognize the exceptional service and dedication of Anthony Raffaelli from our Transportation Department. In response to the recent bus driver shortage, Anthony voluntarily stepped up to serve as a bus driver. The willingness to go above and beyond his primary duties as a mechanic is a clear testament to his unwavering commitment to the success of our district. I have been particularly impressed with the significant growth I've seen in his work ethic and dependability during this period. He has consistently risen to the challenge, demonstrating flexibility and a proactive approach to supporting our transportation needs. His dual experience as a mechanic provides a unique and invaluable perspective, contributing to a seamless maintenance and operation workflow. Anthony's in-depth knowledge of our routes and schedules have been critical in the recent updates to our bus routes. Anthony's knowledge and experience has proven essential in maintaining the reliability and efficiency of our transportation services, directly contributing to the operational success of both the bus barn and the transportation department during this difficult time. We are incredibly fortunate to have Anthony and would like to formally thank him for his outstanding service, professionalism, and dedication to Middletown Unified School District. Thank you. Should have given you that earlier.
Okay, this time, if you would like, you can go ahead and stay, but if you need to go home, that would be fine too. Next, we have reports to the board. The MTA representative, do we have one?
keep this short. So as far as MTA is concerned, we've had some concerns recently brought up to us about, again, buses, they're doing the best they can with the limited resources, but we're having teachers staying beyond their contracted times to wait with students on the campuses while we're waiting for buses to show up to transport those students. So it has been a concern for us, and we're hoping the district is also coming up with a plan to get us back onto field trips. I know myself, we were able to plan multiple field trips. It's such a benefit to our students. And again, we know the concern with the buses. We're just hoping that it is in the thought process about getting those field trips back in for us. And then also, our negotiation team is looking forward to negotiations on the 30th of this month. And they feel that it's great, it's been going great, and they're hoping we continue the positive trajectory that we've seen in the past meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. CSEA rep.
Hi, Leslie Ryan representing CSEA, Chapter 228 as President. We're pleased to announce that Emily Kazmar is now the Vice President of our chapter. We are excited to have her on board as her dedication and support to students and staff will greatly benefit our chapter and executive board. Our following dates for negotiations are October 27th and December 15th. I'd like to remind our board that the cost of living increase this year is 2.3%. The cost of healthcare insurance has increased for our members who use health insurance benefits throughout the district, which accounts for approximately half of our members. Without a cost of living raise or additional district contributions to health benefits, employees' paychecks will be lower than last year's. It is important to note that all other school districts in Lake County are anticipated to receive a cost of living increase. We have already lost staff to other districts due to layoffs and reductions over the past 2 years, and discussions about further reductions are expected in January. I'd like to remind the board that in February 2024, it was approved to lay off 20 classified positions and reduce the hours of 6 classified positions. These positions included campus security, van drivers, instructional aides, special education aides, health aides, crossing guards, cook's helper, noon aide, district-wide custodians. The positions for reductions in those in hours included instructional aides, special ed instructions, and library clerks. In February 2025, classified positions once again were hit with layoffs and reductions, including laying off the lead bus driver position, reduction in hours for 2 campus supervisor positions, reduction in hours and days for the network support technician, and reduction in hours for bus drivers. Over the past 2 years, we have experienced significant reductions in classified positions. The remaining classified staff have had to shoulder the additional workload, resulting in everyone taking on more responsibilities. This has placed a strain on our staff, your staff, and those who work directly with students. Do you have any questions for me?
Are there any questions from the board?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Van Pelt, Ray Green.
Good evening, trustees and Middletown community. Is this working? Okay. Obviously, the biggest update is the Middletown Middle School Gymnasium project has started. The building pad is complete, and we are about to dig footings and get out of the ground, which will be exciting, because then we can do a financial assessment and potentially move forward with other projects. In parallel, we are starting to transmit warranty documents and closeout documents to the district maintenance and operations, Mr. Del Sarto. That'll to start closing out that project. And today, Van Pelt internally had a meeting to assemble a team to re-engage the district to update the master plan. That's about all we're doing. Any questions? Having a great time.
Looking forward to that
Yeah,
master
should be good.
plan.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's great when you drive down the highway and you see all the work being done.
It's
It's pretty
gonna be
exciting.
good. It's a beautiful building too.
Yeah, yep, sure is.
Thank you.
Any questions more for Mr. Green? Yeah, we met with him for like 3 hours. Thank you for coming again. Adopt a fifth grader, Carolyn Jarrett.
Oops. Would you, I don't want to break my microphone. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Carolyn Jarrett. I'm a retired teacher and a former board member of the Canocti Unified School District. I'm here to speak to you tonight about the Adopt a Fifth Grader program. This program is unique to the Mendocino and Lake counties. It all started in 1947 when Wade Coninger, a teenager in Oklahoma, was mowing lawns and had a customer who was very impressed with his hustle. That customer helped Wade to obtain a scholarship to Yale. He graduated, had a successful business career, and then retired to Hopland. He so appreciated that scholarship that he endowed Mendocino College with funds to develop the Adopt a Fifth Grader program. But he wanted to start at the fifth grade level because he felt that the college incentive should start early. Mendocino College has been running this program for 18 years and awards approximately 24 scholarships in their half of Lake County. Yuba College, working without an endowment, has only been running their program for 4 years. Yuba has only been able to afford one scholarship per school in the Canocti and Middletown districts that they represent. The program works like this. At the end of the year assembly, teachers and principals select fifth graders to be recognized. They are given $25 right then and a certificate which states that if they graduate from high school, they will receive $500. If they enroll in Woodland College with 12 units, they will receive $1,000. Each scholarship costs $700. The money for these scholarships is donated from clubs, organizations, and individuals and is invested so that $1,000 is available when the student graduates. The students who are chosen are not typically the top of their class. They are those who show promise but who may be facing difficult circumstances at home. They may be the first in their families to graduate. They may just need to be recognized and supported and given the chance to have a dream and a goal. This program not only impacts the fifth grade student. Younger students at the assembly see that adults are promoting and supporting higher education. As well, the parents of these students may be seeing the possibility of college for their child for the very first time. I think that as communities and districts, we do a really good job of identifying and supporting our top students. But I think we need to look deeper into our student populations. If we want to reduce teen pregnancy, drug and alcohol use, delinquency, and truancy, then we need to start early by helping students identify attainable goals and supporting them to achieve these goals. We now have a committee of retired teachers, Canocti staff, including Becky Salato, the superintendent, and the dean of Woodland College, Corey Ebenhock, which meets to discuss how we can fundraise, create more awareness in our community, and provide support in grades 6 through 12 of these students. Ms. Ebenhock has offered to provide tours of her campus and speakers who will go to middle school and high school sites to speak about classes and career opportunities at Woodland College. Since Middletown students are included under the umbrella of this program, we would like to extend an invitation to any Middletown staff or community member who would like to attend our next meeting. It will be held on Friday, October 24th at 1 p.m. at the Canocti District Office in the Superintendent's Office. We all know the challenges and obstacles that many of our students face. We believe that this program can have a significant positive impact on our student population and, as a ripple effect, our community as a whole. Thank you so much for your time. Do you have any questions?
It sounds like a great program. Looking forward to it. October 24th at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
I'm hoping that
And as a good teacher, of course, I have handouts, and I
Okay.
don't give them to you until the presentation is over.
Okay, well, wait one moment because I'm not sure if anybody else has any other questions or any questions or statements.
I just wanted to say hello to you, Carolyn, and thank you so much for coming down to South County and addressing the board and helping our community be aware of the Adoptive Fifth Grader Program. It's just been a pleasure knowing you as a community educator for the last 20 years that I've been back in Lake County, and it's just really an honor to have you visit us and to remind us about this program, and I really hope that we are able to send some representation
I hope
to
you
come
will.
to the meeting.
I don't have very many, if any, contacts in the Middletown area. And Becky did make a presentation to the Middletown Luncheon Club. I had health issues and couldn't go myself. And I did take the opportunity to include on the second page my contact information. And I'm more than willing to speak to any group or club or whatever about this. So I hope that you will pass along my information. And also the information of if anybody wants to make a donation to support, the information is on here as well. So
Thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was at the luncheon club when Becky spoke, and if I remember correctly, she walked out of there with at least one check.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hi, Jan.
Okay, next we have Site Department presentation, Cobb Mountain Elementary.
Good evening again. I'm excited to be able to share with you a bit more about Cobb Mountain Elementary. I wanted to start just by sharing our mission statement, which is to inspire a lifetime love of learning, to support every child's academic and personal growth, and to provide a safe learning environment. A quick snapshot of some facts. We are, as you know, serving TK through 5th grade. We, as of today, have 110 students enrolled. We just got a new student yesterday. We have 5 teachers, 5 support staff, and something fascinating to note, it's Cobb's birthday this year. It is our 40th birthday. We were founded in 1985. There are many amazing, great things happening up at Cobb, but I just wanted to highlight 4 of them. The first is our garden. Cobb Garden is the oldest school garden in the state of California. Each student has the opportunity to go to garden each week. That involves a classroom component as well as a getting out, you're digging in the dirt, you're planting the seeds, you're harvesting. It is a highlight for the students for sure. We also love to celebrate success at Cobb Mountain, and we have weekly student assemblies. Parents come, kids are excited every week. We celebrate academic and behavioral growth. We re-ground ourselves in being safe, being respectful, being responsible. And it's just a really good time to reconnect with everyone all together each week. We also have the pleasure of having the beautiful nature trail and the outdoor amphitheater. These 2 spaces really do add quite a dynamic to our school as teachers and students are able to take advantage of these outdoor learning spaces frequently throughout the year. And of course, we have a staff full of dedicated, passionate educators. We do have several areas of focus this year. 2 that I really wanted to highlight with you are math and data. We have been participating with LCOE and teachers across Northern California. As the teachers, we've been doing a book study using the book Building Thinking Classrooms in Mathematics. This book is really based on 14 instructional practices that you can implement the next day to increase engagement and thinking in our classrooms. It's been pretty awesome as my role. I get to go into all the classrooms and to watch teachers implementing the things that we're talking about in our collaborative meetings every other week. It's pretty sweet. And to hear the conversations that teachers are having about, this is working well for me, this isn't working well for me, what are you doing? It's exciting to see the kids engaged and excited and making connections to help them become competent and confident mathematicians. Another big focus that we have this year is the use of data binders. We really are focusing on increasing our culture of data, really taking it from a grown-up adult conversation and bringing it down to the kids. Each student from grades 1 through 5 has what we're calling a success binder. And in that success binder, they are setting goals from themselves, ranging in all kinds of different topics, reading fluency, comprehension, star reading, star math, math facts. They are setting goals for themselves. We're achieving them. They're creating graphs. They're going back to see their own growth. If they're not making the growth, we're asking the questions, why do you think that might have been? And so they're having those conversations one-on-one with their teachers. We're adjusting goals, and we're moving through the year. And that's been pretty exciting. And of course, they couldn't have a presentation without showing some of our cuties. You see some kids working in the garden, harvesting apples, and then at an assembly.
Nice hat.
It is a nice hat. And then I just wanted to end by saying thank you so much for coming up for the board workshop. It was absolutely wonderful to be able to give you guys a tour in person. We loved having you, and we would love to have you at any time this year. Please feel free to come up and visit us. Any questions?
Any questions? Any comments? We really enjoyed going up there, I know that. You know, we talked about it after you left, you know, and we continued our board meeting, our workshop, and we're going to do that to the other sites too, so that we are looking forward to, as a full board, walking around and seeing everything. So that was really special, and
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was a great tour and really lovely campus. You've
We think
taken
so.
good care of it.
Doing our best. Thank you.
great treats too. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. No pressure, Coyote Valley. Yeah, Mini Cannon.
Okay, next, maintenance operation. And transportation.
Okay. Trustees, Superintendent Crane, thank you for having me. I will try to be as brief as I can. I know there's a lot on your guys' agenda. Since I'm doing twice a year now, I'm going to try to capture from my last presentation in April to now, and then I will try to capture in April from tomorrow to April. So it's in a 6 months gap, and it's kind of easier to listen to our operations. Our first slide is our summer recap. Our maintenance team, in the beginning of the spring and the spring into the summer, we kind of hit the ground running with campus beautification. We did some nice beautification in the MHS quad over here with flowers. We were able to put some irrigation and some low voltage timers in there as well when the students were out. We did classroom deep cleaning. We had 8 weeks to deep clean the entire district. Which can be challenging because it's not only classrooms. When you deep clean, you have to think of gymnasiums, libraries, offices, and pretty much anything, you know, that we're servicing. So I was really impressed with how the custodial team was able to kind of independently work together and pivot and send workers to other sites if sites fell behind or if we needed to catch up, or to just get ahead and then try to close out the summer, you know, really detailing work that doesn't get to be done when you're trying to be as productive as we are. We also were able to do some irrigation maintenance throughout our whole district. If you've been to some of our elementaries like Coyote Valley, if you've seen the district office, that lawn, some of those areas that have been troubled, we were able to get in there and do some sprinkler maintenance and clean the filters and, you know, bring that water pressure that's supposed to be there and really achieve the whole coverage of all of our turf. So that was pretty exciting to see. And then, you know, you kind of see things grow and you kind of see things get greener, and, you know, it just kind of spruces up the place and it brings attitudes a little bit better, you know, to the school. We were able to separate the Middletown High School's football team from the middle school. They were sharing a storage room, and it was been a locker room for Bill Fortmer for 40 years. And we were able to have the maintenance. We built a full locker room in the stage area of the high school locker room. And that houses not only the varsity, but also the junior varsity. So we were glad to be able to create separation for the middle school and the high school in regards to that. I hired a subcontractor to come out and do some of the walkway improvements up at Cobb Mountain Elementary that were much needed. There still is more work that's needed up there, but I was able to speak with Angie, the principal, and kind of understand the path of travel for some of the more disabled kids that have those needs for those routes. So we will continue to improve those as needed, and as we can, of course. Safety is always one of our biggest priorities. The high school, the multi-use, there was a curb out here that was about 8 to 12 inches lifted from a root, had red paint on it. It was a tripping hazard. Thank you, Tanya. She helped us, get that through and get that work done and cut the root out that was moving up the sidewalk. And, little things like that every year and every summer. It makes a bigger impact when you get 5, 10, 15 years down the road into my career or anything I have going on here. Little things, they build up to be a lot of the things become big things. So for me, those little things are always very important to me for those reasons. Dead pine tree removal. We had a dead pine tree here that Chief Wink stated, I think back when Shane Lee was principal, saying, hey, this thing is dead, it is a hazard, let's get rid of it. Tanya helped me get rid of that as well. I was able to bring Gentry Tree Service in here, and he was able to remove that. We still do have to remove the stump and do some of that work, and we will get around to it during one of these breaks. But that's some of the summer recap that we've done and some of the work. Moving on to grounds and facilities, school is back in session. Right now, the main athletics that are going on right now around here is soccer and football and volleyball. Soccer and football are sharing Fultmer Field this year, which can be a good thing and can be a problematic thing that there's more use, which means wear and tear on that field is a little bit harder to keep up with. Also, the watering schedule. If you have games every day, we have to turn off our irrigation so that they come on during the game. And so that's kind of a struggle, but that's something that we've been able to kind of work hand in hand with the high school and kind of, let them know what we're trying to do. And it's been working out pretty good. The youth sports, there's youth soccer, there's youth football going on right now. They are great organizations. They're pretty sustaining, but there is, communication that needs to happen in regards to like how we leave our facilities when we're done and how they're going to receive them. And so those relationships are pretty good and they're getting stronger. We've updated our facility use application for outside vendors for these types of organizations. So for example, Clear Lake Youth Soccer on Saturday, the whole community comes and there's a couple vendors that come and they're able to sell their product. But what we have asked them to do is they're actually filling out, the appropriate paperwork and putting their hold on harmless and their business license and, everything that the district asks for them, and they pay a small fee. They're given a colored placard that's like their little permit. And when Superintendent Crane or any official from our district is out there, they're able to identify, okay, this process is working. It does put a little money into the district, but it also just keeps things, really solidified and make sure that we're checking all the boxes and we're not doing anything we're not supposed to do on our end from the district. And
I've seen that in action where I've been here on a Saturday, walked out from my office and walked around and saw that everybody had those. I did cause some panic amongst people one day as the superintendent's here walking around. But yeah, I've seen the short version is that I've seen those colored tags, and so I
it's
do know that
working, and it's very welcomed oversight that I think we've been missing for a long time.
Yeah.
We kind of just do things because we do them, but there is more for the district. The more we assert ourselves and say this is our place and we want you to be welcomed here, but we also in return we need this. I think that's kind of a business approach that the last couple of years I've seen that we've changed from this district from all of us, and that's for me that's a wonderful thing. Some of the weekly ground schedules, just quickly, that we do every single morning, we do garbage removal. Doro, our one groundsman, he spends the first 2 hours of his day traveling around all these sites, picking up every garbage can, replacing the liner in them, and just trying to keep litter off the floor the best we can. We do weekly mowing here. We use our daytime custodians. We have 3 wonderful daytime custodians, CJ, Dustin, and Kyle, that not only take care of the multi-uses and open up the campuses, they also provide a lot of grounds work for us. They help work with Doro every single day. They take a big load off him and really help him so he can get to other areas and really focus on some other things that's much needed. And then just tree limb and debris removal as needed. Weed abatement, we pull weeds, we weed whack, mainly in the spring and summer, but we do that, and then there's a watering schedule. As long as we're not in the winter, we continue to water. And then maintenance and custodial tickets, I'll run us through this quickly. Last presentation we discussed, I was moving from School Dude. We found a more intuitive and a better priced Incident IQ that we have rolled out. We like it very much. The reasons we like it very much is it gives us a lot of demographics and a lot of data for us to kind of work on things. As you can see, from July 1st, we've done about 638 tickets, really since August, since they've been back in school. And it kind of breaks it down. You can see the high school's 224 tickets, and all the other schools on down kind of show you the data. The district office is not putting in 107 tickets. The reason why it says 107 tickets is because by default, our work order system, it just goes to the district office. So if a site secretary or administrator puts in a work order and doesn't change that, it'll just say district office. Not a big deal, but we do try to let them know that we're keeping all this data for a reason. We're really trying to stay focused on our budget of our custodial supplies and where they're going, if it's going to Edmo, if it's going to high school, if it's going to Mini Cannon. We're really trying to get that under control, and we've made a lot of progress. And as you can see to the left, our Incident IQ, we run our inventory through our work order system. So just really quickly, if you take a look, you can see I made an example. Kevin Rhodes puts in a ticket and he asks for paper towels, trash bags, box of this or box of that. I'm able to go in there, start the ticket, go into the parts, take those parts out of inventory, and then even to the middle right, you can see how much that all those items cost. You can see that we're tracking where they're going and how much we're spending, so that we can kind of get a better idea that when we open our POs for the following year, we know where we need to kind of spend our resources. And I think that we're kind of learning that if we keep the inventory the way we're having it, we're able to kind of stay ahead. When I get down to 5 boxes of toilet paper, I know I need to order because I'm 2 weeks out. And that really alleviates us running out of supplies. It alleviates us not having supplies in our restrooms or our facilities. So that's something that we're really excited about. Before I move on to transportation, does anyone have any questions with the maintenance and operations and custodial?
Those tickets are great, and so that you're not spending too much money too in an area that isn't needed,
Correct.
I mean, that looks like it's really working. But Tanya, did you find that system out? No. Oh, Mike found it.
That was Corky and I. Yeah, we.
Very good.
Well, we were paying a lot more for a lot less, in our opinion. And I share an office with Johnny IT, so I pick his brain a lot. And he was on Incident IQ, and he was kind of, hey, look, let's look at this, let's see the pricing for this, and we kind of worked together. And I was like, all right, change isn't the easiest thing for me. I will, if something's working, I like to stay with it. But I am learning that sometimes, especially in this business, if the change is worth it, you kind of got to make the effort for it so that you can kind of move forward. So that's kind of where we're at.
Are there any other questions before he goes on?
Okay, moving on to transportation. Transportation, we also talked about bringing in Zonar into our fleet. Zonar is pretty much, it's a ticketing RFID. We have, every student has a ticket, a ridership, and we're able to collect our state mandated reporting that way. The students get on, they beep their little card, it goes right into our database, and as you can see, our bus ridership numbers 33% of our riderships come from our middle school, 29% of our ridership comes from high school, and then on down the line into the elementaries. The reason I like these demographics is because when the district is making decisions and they're having to look at things, whether to add or to cut, you're seeing what's coming off Cobb. You see that 6% of our ridership is coming off Cobb. But what's interesting about that is Cobb is one of our largest routes because Cobb is such a rural area. And although we're only pulling 6% of our riderships off Cobb, it's really important to give access to those areas because those areas, they don't have gated areas like Hidden Valley. They don't have sidewalks. They have wildlife that are dangerous up there. And so we kind of take all of that into consideration, and we don't really look at the percentage of students, but we kind of look at the access and the accessibility, and also it helps with our ADA. So that 6% is low, but in ADA terms, that's a kind of high number. So that's just something that we noticed on. And then on regards to that, another tool that we use with Zonar is our ground traffic control. That is something new that's very interesting that I love. We're able to track our buses live. I can follow as they're moving through their route. So if you're trying to get a hold of them on the radio and you don't hear something, the biggest fear as a director is, oh my gosh, what happened to my bus? I'm not getting a response. I can follow the bus. I know the bus is moving. I know the bus is being operated. And then I know at a later date I can reach out to that driver. And then another cool little tool that it comes with is I can also pull the history. So a lot of times I'll get phone calls and say, hey, the bus didn't show up today on time. It was 5 minutes late. I'm able to go right into that route. I'm able to see exactly what time they stopped at what time and really have that dialogue with the parents. And there's no more kind of finger pointing. I'm able to kind of snip it out and say, this is what we've seen. Or I'm able to talk to the driver and said, hey, we need to clean it up. You left a minute early here. You need to watch your time and provide that feedback that's, not so much criticism, but it helps the drivers and it helps out operations because at the end of the day, we're trying to get our students to school and back home safely. Transportation, some of the ongoing issues, driver shortage. We do have a driver shortage. Our vans for athletics are intermingled with our special education routes. I have been really impressed with Amy Barker in the high school this year. They have been working with us extremely well to not only understand some of our challenges with vans, but also get some of those parents and volunteers, to get what paperwork they need to be able to help themselves and sustain themselves and get them where they're going. So that's something that is an issue, but it's something that we're building on. We're able to work with the high school and say, hey, we all kind of need to work together until we can offer some more resources. And then SB 88 regulations, those are the new Senate bill, and some of those regulations are just learning them. There's some training that's involved with them, and some inspections that are involved with them. And they're not really an issue. We have them under control, but they are something that's new, and it is something that comes up. So we continue to monitor and make sure we're tracking what we need to do. And the other issue, last issue, and not a big issue, is just conditions of vehicles left by athlete and coaches. Again, we're working with the athletic director and the coaches, and it's kind of me doing the back end work as well as everything else I'm doing. So I get in there and I kind of get the paperwork filled out and I get the vans ready to go. But we're asking them to kind of help us with the cleaning on the vans, and because if you leave something, clean it, because we're trying to do the best we can, but we do not have the resources that we once have to get those vans ready to go. And then the improvements, the driver morale in the transportation department is up. It is up by 100%. Things over there are going really well. Cohesion, it's really happening at a high level. There are some silent leaders that are starting to be more vocal and being able to insert themselves and show some of their experience that they come with, which has been, for me, just beautiful to see. I love seeing people work together. I love teamwork. We have one of our vans that our transmission went out, van 2, that's back into operation, so that allowed us to give, athletics another van, and it was one of our better vans. And then we have a new van driver, Manny Santos. Manny Santos is a very professional van driver. He comes from Marietta School District down south. He has inserted himself immediately. He makes good decisions with his route. He works on his route. He has great communication, and I am very excited to have him as part of our team. All our vans have 19-point inspections on student carrying vehicles that are important. That's part of the new Senate Bill 88 regulations. And our EVIRs, our electronic vehicle inspection reports, are on tablets. So that is also state mandating reporting. That just saves a lot of back end work. We just download reports, we send them into the spreadsheets we need to send them into, and we can work a little bit quicker and a little bit more accurate. And then the solutions, licensed driver in the making. I think tomorrow, if I have the opportunity to drive for Andrew, he will be taking his permit test. Hopefully he secures that permit, and then he can begin immediately his 20 hours in class hours and 20 hours behind the wheel with our trainer from Lakeport. And I'm hoping within the next month or two, he will be a certified driver, and I will be able to return the mechanic back to the mechanic position, and then use him as a substitute, maybe even bring back these field trips that we so need to. We do understand the value of field trips, but we also have a responsibility to get kids to school and home. That is our #1 objective. So we do hear the community, we do listen to the principals and teachers, and we are working with them, and we are trying to find solutions so that we can bring that back into our services. And then the last solution is just really rebuilding the transportation department. They've been lacking leadership for a long time. I'm on my 3rd year here, going on my 3rd year here, and I'm developing better relationships, and I'm understanding the department a lot better. These routes are not foreign to me. I'm able to actually work on them. I'm able to do different things with them, and we have done that, and we're going to continue to do that. And then finally, my last slide, I will get this going, is for the student safety and easy recognition of the following are being installed. We have put our Middletown Unified logo on all of our vans and all of our maintenance vehicles, and all of our vehicles. I don't know why it took so long for that to happen. Sometimes things just are the way they are and they get stagnant, but I noticed that it's probably not a good idea driving around here with white vans that are 20 years old with no decals, and someone like me
picking
just
up
asking
children.
kids, do you need a ride? So we did make that change. I wish I would have done that a little sooner, but hey, at least we
We
made
live,
it.
we learn.
Yep, we live and learn. And then the most important and most exciting part that I have to leave you with is that we started working with Quorum, our security cameras last year, and we did a trial run. We put one into our bus. We had our maintenance team configure it. We used a hotspot. It's working. It's the first that Quorum's ever done. They don't have them in any other buses. We are the pilot, and they are very interested in what we kind of have, and they've built us our own bus, and we've paid for Quorum. We have it coming into our buses. It's live feed. The hard drives and the 3-4 hours a week that principals have going through video that you can't even make out, going to be able to do it in seconds. You're going to be able to do it while the bus is moving. And to make that happen, working with IT over the Thanksgiving break, our 3 main buses and our 1 special ed bus are going to receive wireless internet to make this come to life. And this is really going to help out not only ourselves but our principals and cut out a lot of time, getting down to issues that happen on the bus, good and bad. So that is my presentation for maintenance, operations, and transportation. Does anybody have any questions for me or comments?
Patsy?
Just out of curiosity, soccer and now on the football field, can we build a big soccer field behind the campus?
This is true, correct. High school was built a high school soccer field. The powers that be have made the decision they want to play out at the Fulton Field. My philosophy is I give them what they want, It's, yep. We rent it for youth soccer, and I think that's what it's being used for. It might be used for practice. I think it's used for practice, high school practice, but they play their games out there. And I believe it's for the lights. It's for the lights.
And I will say, as someone who has attended in my year and a half a lot of home sporting events, it's way better out at Fulton Field. There's places to sit in addition to the lights and restrooms nearby and all that kind of stuff. So.
An important piece is I think it helps them also charge for admission a lot better because they're able to actually have a gate and have direction. So I think that's a big part of it too.
And admission is how we defray the cost of officials. So.
Okay, Annette?
Yeah. I just wanted to say thank you to you and your team. The entire team is, the work that you all do is so important just for the function of the school district. I want to especially take a moment to acknowledge the drivers. I've been, for whatever reason, the last couple of weeks, Shane and I have been talking a lot about van drivers and bus drivers and the incredible amount of testing and homework and the rigor that they go through to do their jobs. And it's truly a thankless job, you know, and so I want to provide that thanks, and just maybe if you could pass along to your driving team that we really do appreciate them so much.
I will. I appreciate them as well. And, you know, I always tell them it's really easy to forget about the drivers because they are at the bus barn and they are a little ways away. And that could be a good and bad thing if, you know, as an employee, but really the recognition is that they do come to work every day and they do get our students to school. And that's one of our biggest issues we have right now is our 80-day. So, yeah, we cannot forget about the people that are helping us get that.
Any other questions or comments?
No, thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, community comments. Those in the audience desiring to address the board regarding items not on the agenda may do so at this time, and each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board and make a brief statement, express his or her viewpoint, or ask a question regarding matters related to the school system. Please understand that the board is prohibited by law for taking action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusion should be drawn if the board does not respond to public comment at this time. Do we have any comments? Is there anybody out in the audience that would like to speak that didn't put their work in?
Ms. Stevenson, you've only been up 3 times.
Are you sure? Okay. Let's go ahead and go on to the consent calendar. I need a motion to approve items A through I. Do I have a motion to approve items A through I on the consent calendar?
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Chris,
I second.
seconded by Allison. Are there any discussions or any items that you have questions about?
I have a comment just to share.
Okay.
The list of materials being weeded out of the library only had 4 titles on it, but I just want to explain what that was, that those are class sets that some of them have been lost, and if you look closely at the list, some of them were lost like 8 years ago and are finally getting cleaned up. So Allison Brown is doing some of that work to make things official. Those titles are not going away. We've refilled in with newer copies so that we still have those. And then those are the novels. And then the AP Spanish, we have a newer AP Spanish textbook that when hopefully we have AP Spanish back, we'll be able to use the newer textbook. Of course, by the time that one we might end up having an even newer, but we're not eliminating any of the titles that were on the list.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, it is surprising when you see so many items that are being taken off, but I used to work in a library, so I know that happens.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. And then I just want item F with the contracts, MOUs. The cost, is it through grants or PTO?
It is fundraising and also asking parents to pay for their students to be able to go. So we fundraise up to a point, and then, and nobody is disallowed from going because they can't pay, but it is not something that affects the general fund. One of the things that, just while we're talking about 6th grade camp, it's easier to get students and families to be fundraising when it's at an elementary school, and when you have several years of fundraising to do, it's harder to get the elementary school like parent group excited about fundraising for something that's going to happen at the middle school. So the reality is that I don't know how long we will continue having 6th grade camp. We'll have to see how it develops.
What if you were to do 6th grade camp fundraising while they're like still in 4th grade?
I think that would be great. I think that would be the way to do it. It's just we have to get the elementary schools. You're still going to have the same students going. It's just at the middle school. And for some reason, that puts a block in people's brain to be able to want to do that.
Oh, you can come on up to the mic, though.
No matter how
I
loud you
know,
talk, people at
but
home
it's
won't hear
because of
you.
the people at home. But yes, absolutely. It's okay.
Pardon?
How would money be tracked if you guys started fundraising in elementary school? Because as a parent, so living in here during COVID, per class, we fundraised $2,000. Sixth grade can't never have a dinner. It's really mysterious where that money went. I know it went to the district, and we can give it back to sixth grade.
Well, yeah, it should, so it stays with the schools, and,
But I guess.
well,
So it
go
just,
ahead.
it's, there's a lot of money, so you're only talking about $2,000 in a class raises, and then I think it'd be easier if there was a system set up for it. I just know a parent side of it, kind of.
There is a system set up for it, and there always has been a system set up for it. That when all of those funds are, when it was sixth grade was at the elementary schools, each elementary school had a science camp budget line for their revenue and for their expenditure. When the sixth grade was transferred to the middle school, whatever residual funds that they had in their science camp account was transferred to the middle school. But it is very uniquely identified, both on the revenue side and the expenditure side.
That would be my only concern, is making sure that it's tracked down.
Yep.
Because there's the word that was used when Lillian was in sixth grade was equity.
Yeah,
You know, is it equitable at all of the class of fundraising? So if that money goes towards the sixth grade class, in general, the only Coyote Valley fundraises and not many Cannon, is it equitable to then have that expectation?
yeah.
Thank. Oh, no, thank you.
Well, thank you for letting us have her while she's
Yes.
here.
I just want to echo, though, since it is an agenda item, I can comment on it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Um,
We're open for discussion.
Totally with you on that. In fact, in my daughter's class, they raised a good amount of money, and then COVID happened, and so we made sure that we followed that money over the years, and it's tagged so that they can use it for sober grad or something like that. But I don't know about your school. You didn't.
From, I think, sixth grade funds, and I was questioning where that was coming from, and maybe Tanya, some conversation you need to have with you and bring that to PTO, because did the Cannon money go back to the Cannon sixth grade grant years later, because the money was just earmarked for that, or did it follow the new class? So it's a rabbit hole of different funds, but just, I know funds become confusing, especially with new class.
Well, they're all uniquely identified, so whether it happened in the past, I would be able to see it in the accounting of the science funds for each school. So if you wanted to, yeah, please, yeah. Yeah, let me know, reach out, give me some parameters, some, a little bit more information, and I can look into that for you. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Thanks for that, Tanya. And also, I'd like to put out a thanks to Caitlin Zelensky, because she's putting that work into, getting this together for the students. Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Chris and seconded by Allison. Are there any other discussions or any other questions from the audience?
Do you want me to do thank yous?
And I do want you to do thank yous. Thank you
Sorry.
so much.
I distracted the group.
That's okay. We always like to
Yeah, for sure.
make sure that our donors are properly thanked for everything that they do to support our athletes and students and school sites. So MHS Cross Country would like to thank Middletown Rancheria for their donation to support their student athletes. MHS ASB has 3 thank yous for the same genre, and it all goes in gratitude for donations for homecoming and all the spirit activities that happen the week prior to make all of those unifying and exciting events happen. So the ASB would like to thank Karen Jones. Karen and Mike Jones for their donation. They would like to thank Middletown Unified Ag Boosters for their generous donation as well. And also acknowledge and express gratitude to Clayton Corman for his donation. And then the MHS men's soccer team would like to thank Juarez Vineyards for their donation, which will be used for soccer team expenses. So thank you all again. We appreciate you immensely.
Okay, thank you for that. And with that being said, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass 5-0. Okay, item 6, business and facilities, Lake County International Charter School. Here we have, we're getting a 24-25 school year update.
Correct.
Correct?
This is, yeah, and there is not an LCICS representative here. They're just presenting this to the board for your review and approval.
Okay. This is an update on their missions and goals. And does anybody have any questions that they're not here to answer?
I would relay them.
I just wanted to say, I did look at their test scores and they
Yeah.
seem to
Yeah.
be performing very well. So I wanted to acknowledge them for that and say congratulations.
That's great, you know, because they do have a great teaching staff too. I know a couple of the teachers on there, and they're doing really well. Okay, do I have a motion to approve Lake County International Charter School?
I move to approve.
It's been moved by Allison, seconded by Chris. Is there any other questions or discussions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass 5-0. Okay, approval of contract award for storm water pollution prevention plan, services to Crawford and Associates. And we have Ray
Hi.
up here to speak on it.
So, this contract is for TSP services, qualified management. If you are disturbing more than 1/2 acre of land, the state requires you to work today and have all of your work monitored. Essentially what this does is make sure that, in rain events, we're not polluting streams, waterways, that sort of thing. Runoff doesn't get into the storm drain. So, to be honest, we had a little bit of trouble getting folks to come out here for that service. The team that we typically use, wouldn't come this far, wasn't available. We had to look around, we only got one price for this. It's a decent price, I think we'll have some savings, because this, contract is slated to go through the entire project. Once the project gets to a point where stormwater pollution control is not required, we cut them off. So, this is more of a time and material type contract. So we're hoping to have a little bit of savings, not much, but a little bit of savings.
So with this contract for the stormwater pollution prevention plan, it has nothing to do with the contract that we're going to be talking about for item C, which is the same.
That's correct, it's the same company. So when our regular firms would not come up this far, we reached out, it turns out the Crawford Associates also does SWIP services, so we got a proposal from them.
Did we get any other proposals for, well, I guess I can ask that at item C, but did we get any other proposals from item C, or is it? Got 5 of those, okay. All right.
Oh. I'm coming from San Diego.
Okay, so we're on item B, approval of contract award for stormwater pollution prevention plan to Crawford and Associates. Does anybody, or is there a motion to approve this item? It's been moved by Patsy.
Second.
Seconded by Chris. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass 5-0. Item C, Middletown Middle School new gym project, special inspection and testing services.
So we went out to several different firms, probably 8 or 9. We've got 5 proposals for special inspections. And Crawford Associates was the lowest proposal. We felt their proposal was a little too low. We had them re-review the proposal, went up a little bit. And we have
Could you stop just for a second? IOR.
Inspector of record.
Okay, thank you.
We have a contract with an inspector of record, and that inspector of record, really, although he works for us, he works for the state. He's the state's eyes and ears on the project. That inspector happens to be also certified to do special inspections for concrete blocks. It's a gym, almost the whole building is concrete block. Unfortunately, concrete block requires continuous inspection, meaning every day that I'm installing a block, I have to call for special inspection, and that inspector drives up here, stands there and stares us, stack blocks, and then goes home at the end of the day. So it's quite costly. So what we're doing is we've gone to ESA, and we have requested a bit of a variance to allow our IOR.
Who's going to be here anyway?
It's a little abnormal, and they're entertaining it. They seem like that they were amenable to it. And if we can do that, that should equate to a substantial savings to your contract that you see on the repair. We're going to do all the couch cushions. We're all wanting to do that.
And we appreciate it.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, do I have a motion to approve item C, the special inspection and testing services for, who's the, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Chris, second by Patsy. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass 5-0.
Just for the record, what latest contract for $145,000. Our price will range anywhere from there to $260.
I know, I remember seeing that.
I want to go back.
No, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Item D, 2526 Perkins Grant Waiver. Tanya, could you explain just a little bit about that?
Okay, so the Perkins Grant Waiver, we need to apply for that. Typically, it's good for, like, I believe it's 3 or 4 years. And what it does is based on our funding amount that we get, we're asking for the waiver to be, so that we don't have to join a consortium to get the funds. Doing that would restrict, it would just hinder our processes and the immediate availability of funds for our staff to be able to do their program. So we request a waiver from that consortium requirement.
And it services our high school students?
Yes, this is specifically the ag department, ag vocational, wait a minute, they changed the name of it. Agricultural teacher, no, incentive grant, yeah, I don't.
Ag.
It's ag, it's the ag department. Karen Jones, Clayton Croman, and Caitlin Ramos are the ones who are involved in expending those funds for the programs that they have.
Great.
So this replaces the ag incentive grant?
It is the ag incentive grant. They just
under new
changed the name.
New name.
Yeah, they changed the name. They added on the incentive part. Yeah, so it's not ag vocational anymore, it's ag incentive something, something. So, yes.
Career tech.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Same program, just different name.
Do I have a motion to approve item D, the Perkins Grant Waiver?
So moved.
It's been moved by Patsy, second.
I second.
Second by Allison. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed 5-0. Okay, on to board-related items, governance handbook. Minor changes have been highlighted and the cover page updated to current board names.
Yeah, this is just formalizing some of the changes that we talked about at our study session that we had at the library, 2 study sessions ago.
Right. Are there any, do I have a motion to approve item 7A? Governance Handbook. It's been moved by Annette. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Patsy. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed 5-0. Item 7B, Language Lines Statement of Work, State of California.
So the reason why it's called State of California is that we are piggybacking onto a statewide contract with a company called Language Line. What they do is on-demand translation. We have a translator who speaks Spanish, which is the language that we use the most. Language Line, I didn't count the number of languages that they do, but it's like 100. They have languages on their list that I promise you've never heard of, that they will also do for on-demand. The other thing that it helps is that having one translator who can be in a grand total of one place at a time. If other people need translation services elsewhere in the district at the same time, this provides that. The rate is 97 cents a minute, and it's been that for years. I mean, it was with that was the rate when I've been working with them in other districts. So
There's a whole bunch of other stuff in there, like your equipment purchase or rental, and then other per minute fees.
right, and we're not using any of those other things. Those are in there if we use them. Like they have special phones that have 2 handsets. We have speaker phones, and so we would just use a speaker phone.
So it's basically you pay as you use it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we don't use it, we don't pay them.
Yeah. Okay, do I have a motion to approve item 7B, Language Line Statement of Work, State of California?
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Chris. Do I have a second? Second by Patsy. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed 5-0. Item 7C, 25-26 School Safety Plans.
So it's going to feel like less than a year since you've done this, because it is less than a year since you've done this, because we approved them in the spring. And we talked about it and said, gosh, it makes way more sense to have them closer to the beginning of the school year. We are going to need to come back with an amendment. They just passed a law requiring things like, this is the second year in a row this has happened to us, by the way, where as we're bringing them to you, there's an amendment to the law requiring something new. And so we will be bringing that back as an amendment for everybody. But these are the school safety plans, which we're doing earlier.
I have the high school one up right now.
So, well, when I was looking at it, I didn't see Coyote Valley's.
I'm looking at
It was on there? I don't know what was wrong with my internet at home, but okay. So if they're coming back with an amendment, we still need to approve them today?
Yeah. Yes,
tonight?
please.
Okay. So item 7C, 25-26 School Safety Plan. If we could just go ahead and do one.
Please.
Okay. I 1 through 5, that's Cobb, Coyote Valley, Mini Cannon, Middletown Middle School, Middletown High School, and Loconoma Valley High School. Do I have a motion to approve all of the safety plans of our sites?
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Chris, second.
I second.
Seconded by Allison. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed 5-0. Item 7D, first read board policies. So we need, it looks like a couple pages long. Just kidding, but.
Well, yeah, there are
there's quite a
several.
few.
And the pattern that we've established is having 2 board members to meet with me to review what they are. I've actually already had the CSBA webinar presentation about these. But are there any board members who would like to work with me to review these?
I can do it.
Okay. We have Allison. Is there anybody else that would like to step up and meet with Jeff? He makes it really, he has candy in his office. Just saying.
As long as you peel all the paper off of it.
You have to peel your own paper.
Yeah. So Patsy, are you,
No, I did the first batch.
okay.
Well, and we've had a second batch since then.
Oh, so this is the third batch?
This is the third batch.
Yeah,
When are you doing it?
yeah.
Whenever it works for you.
I'm a hunting widow, so it's gonna be me
Okay.
holding down the fort. Otherwise, I would love to.
Okay.
I'll do it.
We can work around your schedule. All right,
So
Allison and
is
Chris.
gonna do it, and then Chris, you could even maybe do it through Zoom?
Yeah, if we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Can't get candy on.
Yeah, that's
We'll have to mail
true.
it to you.
Amazon delivers to your house. So
Just
Chris,
saying. So we'll just communicate with Jeff and
Yeah.
pick a day.
Yep, I will reach out to you to set up a
Okay,
time
sounds
between now and our next meeting.
okay, which brings us to the second reading and approval of board policies that we did our first read at our last board meeting.
Yeah. These are recommended by CSBA in relation to recent Supreme Court decisions. And Alice, or the other A name, Annette and Zoe and I met, and we recommend that they be approved as written.
That was what I had on my sticky note.
There you go.
No, we just had a lot of discussion. Okay, do I have a motion to approve item E to our second reading and approval of board policies? I guess it's just 1 through 6.
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
Moved, I'm sorry, who moved? Moved by Patsy, seconded by Chris. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, passed by 0. Student items, number 8. Number 9, personnel.
So one of the things that I want to talk, I feel like I've got something on all of these, it seems. One of the things that I want to make sure, and we don't have a lot of the public here, but one of the things is, we do have public here, we just don't have a lot of public here. They're all watching at home. That one of the things that's on here is a special education teacher. There's kind of a longer story, and anybody who wants to hear the longer version is welcome to reach out to me and get it. But this is kind of moving away from one of the reductions that we had intended for the middle school and high school, that we had moved our SDC classes to one class. Having in one classroom, we tried it for a couple months. We're moving away from that. We are, however, still evolving our approach, our service delivery model, in that rather than dividing students strictly by grade level, 6 through 8 and 9 through 12, we're splitting them up by need. And so we will still have multi-grade, multi-kind of school level classrooms, but will be more need-based rather than grade level based. The other thing is that we actually had a mistake in our process, and so the position was actually never taken out of the budget, and so we're able to make this add back without adversely affecting what we have budgeted. So it's kind of a happy accident, and that it happened right where we needed it to happen.
Okay.
And we could have just let it slide, but we want to be open and transparent even with our mistakes, so.
Well, thank you for that, and I'm really excited about having a in-person special ed teacher.
Same.
Yep. Okay, do I have a motion to approve our PAR report, item 9A?
I move to approve.
It's been moved by Allison. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Pass 5-0. Item 9B, approval of Director of Fiscal Services job description.
And I'm going to talk about B and C at the same time.
Okay.
That we are updating both our CBO and Director of Fiscal Services job description. The job descriptions that we have until you approve these are basically the same, just with different titles. And we want to actually separate them so that as a CBO, Tanya supervises and supports the other business departments on that side of the house, IT, food services, MOT. A Director of Fiscal Services would be just focused on the business office itself. And so and it's public knowledge, but we're still living in a world of denial, that Tanya is hoping to retire at the end of this school year. And we anticipate that we will replace her with a director of fiscal services. That is a position with less responsibility and therefore less pay as well. So we want to make sure those are differentiated, which is why we bring these to you in preparation of that sad day, but also making preparations for the next day after she leaves. So we're not talking about having two at the same time, other than when we overlap. So we are planning on having some overlap for training to support the new.
Thank
but
you.
Welcome.
That's very much appreciated for the new person on behalf of them.
Yes.
Because Tanya is amazing.
Yes, and Tanya is up for training somebody new. And it would be a transition where it would start with Tanya showing the person, then with them doing things together, and then before Tanya leaves, her kind of backing off and allowing the new person to take over. It would be in instructional terms, an I do, we do, you do model. So, yep.
So this is item 9B, approval of Director of Fiscal Services job description. And you're saying that it isn't a currently filled position?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
okay. Do I have a motion to approve item 9B, Director of Fiscal Service job description?
I'll move to approve.
It's been moved by Chris. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Allison. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed 5-0. So item 9C, approval of Chief Business Officer job description. Do you
Move
want
to
any-
approve.
Same.
Same.
I'm going to
same.
work on getting my computer up for
Yeah,
the.
second. It's been moved by Chris, seconded by Patsy. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed 5-0. Okay, item 10, curriculum and instruction.
And Johnny, I don't know how to do the magic thing to get it to. I wasn't here for rehearsal because I was in closed session. Who doesn't like them? Come up here since it's a presentation to make it a little bit more formal. And it's the last one. Thank you, Mom. Okay, so last week, actually, is when the test scores were released for as far as district-wide and statewide kind of summary information. Oh, there it goes. Now it's bright. Oh, is it not gonna?
You have it on?
Oh, thank you. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. So, as we do when we talk about data, we're going to talk about three questions. We're going to talk about here's what, we're going to look what the data is. We're going to look at so what does the data tell us? And then we're going to look at now what are we going to do about it, what are our next steps? And some of those next steps you've actually already seen earlier tonight. It wants to transition. Any ideas on that one, Johnny? No. It's partway in between. There it goes. Okay, that's very strange. So if you can, I'm hoping that anyway, from last year to this year, I've changed the data that we are sharing and focusing on. These are our district-wide percentages of students who met or exceeded standards in the 3 grade levels, ELA, math, and science, over the last 3 school years. And you can see that we have made growth in all 3 areas in each of the last 2 years. And so I think that's pretty cool. That's the first kind of thing that I look at, is which direction did we go? Whether we're where we want to be or not, at least we're going the right direction. And I will tell you that we're going the right direction in some significant numbers. When we talk about 4 and 5 percentage points, those are actually some pretty big jumps. When you talk about going from 41% to, that's actually more than 10% higher, because you're going from 41 and going more than 5 points up. So percentage points and percentages gets a little weird. I'll try not to get too deep into the weeds. One of the things to look at, and I'm going to actually take the microphone and go over there. One of the things to look at is how we do across grade levels. And so, I don't know if that keeps happening, I'm going to try the other mic. Here, I'm going to try the other mic. Oh. Wow, now I'm fancy. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. Wow. So fancy. Still happening. So I look at students who met or exceeded the standards, which is the green and the blue. And then I also look at the yellow is standard nearly met. So those are students who are doing not quite as well as we want, but they nearly met the standard. It's not so bad. But then I look at the standard not met. And that's another one that I look at. For ELA, you can see that we kind of bounce around a little bit. If you look at our 11th grade is actually where we had the highest percentage of students who met or exceeded the standard. That is due to a couple of different things. One of the things is that at the high school, they have really worked on establishing a cultural expectation that the tests are important. Mr. McCall and Mr. McKinney have tag teamed on sending that message to our students, and it's apparently really gotten through. The other thing is that state colleges in California use test data in terms of helping to place students when they come to them as freshmen. And so when you talk about do the test results matter, they really do. And so that's another thing that helps for that. The other thing is that we've got a really good English teaching team, and that helps too. Math tells a little bit of a different story. There we go. Math tells a little bit of a different story in that if you look, I'm going to give away one of the things that's coming up later, that we beat the state average in math in 3rd grade. But if you look at where this line is between green and yellow, it gets progressively worse each year. 7th grade stemmed the tide, and we had improvement in 7th grade. But then, again, a little bit worse in 8th and worse in 11th. Now, here's the other problem with math, is that if we skip over the standard nearly met and look at the standard not met, that number gets bigger and bigger, whereas in 11th grade we have a high proportion of students who didn't even nearly meet the standard. They just flat out didn't meet it. And so that's an indication of problems. It's an indication of problems at the high school, but if you look across the board, we have problems not just at the high school. We have some challenges in math. I am going to go back to the fact that we still made growth. We went from 18% who met or exceeded the standard 2 years ago. We're up to 29%. We are moving the right direction. So it's not a 3-alarm fire. It is on fire, but it's not a 3-alarm fire. So we are going the right direction. And then the other one is if we look at science, come on, oh, okay, so, I might just do this from here. I'll just, do-do-do-do-do, don't mind me. There we go. I'll just push the button. If we look at science, again, science is one that is newly being measured as far as looking at it like on our dashboard and such. And it's only measured in 5th, 8th, and 11th, so it's a little bit more difficult. And again, kind of some good news, bad news, like we didn't have many students who exceeded the standard, but we also didn't have many who were super far behind and didn't meet the standard. A large number of students who nearly met the standard. It is, again, we're going in the right direction. It is a little bit odd in that these are given and they cover multiple years of content, and it's science, but it's physical science, life science, earth science, and so it's covering a wide spread of information. Not that it's a competition, but if it were, we'd be winning. So if you look at, depending on how you look, if you look at our scores as a district, we are leading the league in Lake County. I did take the time to go through and compare us to all the other school districts. Again, not that it's a competition. The superintendents are my friends. I like hanging out with them, and I don't have this conversation with them necessarily, but we are leading the league. We are not quite to state averages, where I talked about last year as our target, because we should at least be state average. But we're getting closer. We made more growth than the state did overall, and so we are catching up.
Next time you should just look at Lake County News had a full diagram of all the districts and all their improvements. So.
Oh, I missed that.
5.6, we were the most elevated in math.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. I hadn't seen that one. Also talking about our LPAC. This is the test that assesses our English learners and the progress that they are making toward being fluent English proficient. And the overall score, students have, well, let me make sure I do this in order. The overall score combines a written score and an oral score. It covers those 4 areas: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. You have to have a 4 overall to be redesignated. You have to have a 4 on the LPAC. You have to have your teacher say that you qualify to be redesignated, but usually that's grades, but they're coming out with a new observation tool. Parent input. In all my years of doing this, I've never had a parent say, no, please don't redesignate my student. Normally it's a time for celebration. And then also grade level basic skills, which for us is looking at their reading scores. Since we have 13 students who scored a 4 on the LPAC, and it's a pretty challenging test, but those 13 students are eligible to be considered for redesignation this year. Last year we had 16 students who were redesignated. So hopefully this year we'll have 13, but we'll see. So those are the here what's. That's the,
Jeff?
yeah.
Do we have the same amount of LPAC students in that last year? You said we had 6.
I don't,
You know.
I didn't look that up. I don't know.
I just,
I will tell you that one of the things that Brandy is excited about is our person who spearheads our EL services coordination, is that all of our students, all of our English learners took the Summit of LPAC last year, took all the parts, and that was pretty cool that they were able to get that coordinated. So that's a good thing. Okay, so as we look at our data, what does our data tell us? As I said, we continue to lead the league. We are catching up. We did outscore the state average in several areas. 3rd grade math as a district, we outscored 7th grade ELA and 11th grade ELA and 11th grade science. We outscored the state average in all of those areas. And so those are district-wide that we scored those. Coyote Valley as a school outscored the state average in all subject areas at all grade levels that they tested. So that's pretty cool. As we talked about, another of the so what's is that math is an area of concern. We're going to come back to that and now what's here for just a second. And there are some grade and school specific red flags that I'm not going to talk about in this setting, but we are talking about with the principals. And so we can make sure that those get addressed. So there's a lot that our data is telling us. So the big question is, now what? And even with this, it's going sideways. One of the big things, as I talk about visiting classrooms, one of the things is it's great for me to be there and see the teachers and see the students in action and all that. But the real goal of those visits is that I'm working with the principals and helping to coach the principals in how they coach their teachers. Because they're going to be in those classrooms way more often than I am. And so they should be the instructional leaders on their campuses. We've also talked a lot about evaluation procedures. We're diving into data. So we are trying to do all of the kind of basic general things. One of the things that we're going to be doing, that we've already started the process of doing, is identifying signature instructional practices. And we'll come back to share those with you in an upcoming meeting. But when you think about, there are some companies that have a signature item. You think about McDonald's, their signature item is a Big Mac, right? You think about Ford, I would say their signature item is their F-150 pickup. Like, there are things that they are just known for. So for us, we're going to figure out and identify district-wide, what are our signature instructional practices? What are things that you can see if you go to a kindergarten classroom or a high school classroom? What can you see if you go to see kids being taught in English, or you can see them being taught in ag mechanics? What are some instructional practices? And this will help us focus on those practices district-wide, all of the teachers, all of the principals, all of the students. These are going to be the things that we are known for as a district. And so we have some of those, we've had some of those discussions at the administrative level. On October 29th, we're going to invite teachers to join us to give input on what they think our signature instructional practices should be. And then there may be a step or two before we actually finalize what those are. So, site-specific professional development. Our principals are our instructional leaders. They're the ones who are working with teachers on a regular basis. They are the ones who need to be leading the drive for instruction, especially because we don't have a director of educational services. I was one in a former life. I have that skill set, but I also have other things on my plate. And so I work to support them in doing that instructional leadership piece, but that really falls to them. Then the other thing is we talked about math. So at each of our schools, they are doing different things focusing on math. So for instance, at Cobb tonight, we talked about the book study that they're doing and seeing those strategies implemented in classrooms. At Mini Cannon, they are working on math facts and providing support for students so that they are fluent in those addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, that 8 times 7 equals 56, so that students know those things off the top of their head, because then that helps in later grades as well. At Coyote Valley, and I just drew an absolute blank. Coyote Valley is doing professional development with the county office, focusing on making sure that students are engaged during math instruction. So it's not just the teacher up at the front of the room talking, but that it's students working in groups and with each other and being engaged in that. The hazards of going without notes. At the middle school, they have implemented a flex period. So most of the time their 6th period is their electives, but when they do a flex period, they can provide enrichment and academic support. And so they are doing those things as well to increase academic support. And then high school, it's kind of at the end of the line. And some of the things that and we've changed some of our math teaching staff. So Carlos is going to need to work with them and identify kind of what their next steps are. But he's the man for the job. So, and then also designated and integrated ELD, talking about the LPAC, making sure that students are getting language support, speaking, reading, writing, listening, doing those things in all of their classrooms across the board. Hopefully this will work. So to summarize, here's what we looked at: test data, ELA, math, science, LPAC. So what? Our students are making growth. Math is a concern. Now what? Class visits and coaching, signature instructional practices, and professional development focused on math and ELD. And realizing that I put myself as the last presentation of the night, trying to be not too long and relevant and such. Any questions?
Any questions? It was it's great information to know. Yeah. Just lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Too.
Thank you. It makes me feel better. You don't have to do that just to make me feel better.
However, I was thinking more of, Coyote Valley, they're doing so, they're doing so great. That's something to be said. I guess I'd like to know, I'm trying to get around the corner here. I'd like to know the percentage of new teachers out there at Coyote Valley compared to Mini Cannon, compared to Cup, even a high school, middle school, or our percentage of new teachers, and so they're being evaluated quarterly, I'm assuming,
Well, the formal evaluation is once a year, but the principals are, for our teachers who are being evaluated. For most of our other teachers, it's every other, for our more veteran teachers, it's every other year.
Okay.
That as far as a formal evaluation. But our principals are/should be in classrooms way more frequently than that. I'm going to be in all the classrooms 3 times this year. They should be in the classrooms at least weekly.
Yeah.
And so that should be something where they are able to provide that feedback and input, match teachers up who I have this need and they're good at that, and be able to make those matches to be able to hook teachers up for that. As far as new teachers and veteran teachers, we have a couple of newer teachers at Mini Cannon, but as far as at the elementary level, we didn't have a whole lot of turnover this year.
Right. What about high school though? And I'm just thinking about the new teachers might need that extra support and, more visits from principals.
Well, and our newer teachers at the high school are both experienced teachers, or math teachers. And Miss O'Neill and Miss Barker are our 2 newer math teachers. And so they're both experienced. But as I read on a ceiling tile in Miss Piser's classroom over at Coyote Valley, just because something's working doesn't mean it can't be improved. And so,
I like that.
yeah, me too. So it's something that even where it's working well, we need to look at making improvements. And there's kind of a combination of factors that go into it, because some of the reason why we get concentration dollars, supplemental and concentration dollars for students who have low socioeconomic status or are English learners or are foster and homeless, is because those students come with more challenges. And so kind of as a socioeconomic status, and in terms of those challenging areas, not all schools have the same baseline that they're starting from. So some of it is who the students are walking in the front door, and it is also the instruction that is going on. So it's both of those things. I will tell you, I've walked out of classrooms at Coyote Valley in particular, or as I mentioned earlier, walking out of some classrooms just being super, super excited. Several of those are at Coyote Valley, where I walked down like, oh my gosh, they're doing all the best practices and they're just doing them so naturally and it just flows. And again, not going to call anybody out by name, but there's some great instruction going on as well.
I'm looking forward to visiting some of the sites and just feeling that campus climate.
Yeah.
You know when it's working, when it's
Yep.
good for you. Okay,
Thank
Thank you.
That was great presentation. That isn't anything we have to vote on.
Nope.
And thank you. Okay, any correspondence? Any pending agenda items? As we're getting, further into the year, please feel free to reach out to either me, the board, to reach out to either me, and Jeff, if you have an agenda item you'd like to see put on the board and have discussion with him to have that put on. I've done that a couple of times, and he's either, we've talked it through and decided yay or nay. At this time, is there any pending agenda items you'd like to bring up? Okay, announcements? Important upcoming dates. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Our next meeting is on November 12th, which is the day after Veterans Day. Professional Development Day on November 10th. So teachers will be at work.
And do I have a motion for final adjournment?
Second.
By Annette, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Chris. All